My name is Richard Michael Shepard. I'm the News Operations Manager at WALB in Albany, Georgia. I currently make sure that everything in the news department works with what we need for on air, from our live capabilities to our editing equipment in the building. Before coming to WALB back in September, I was actually a director in Louisville, Kentucky. I've directed all-day coverage of the Kentucky Derby. I was in charge of the Kentucky Derby Festival, Pegasus Parade, and the nationally televised funeral procession for Muhammad Ali, in which they presented him around the city of Louisville before his final resting place. I got to direct that. Among other things, I've directed newscasts from weekends to weekdays, from the 6 p.m. to the 6 a.m. I believe so. I've accomplished a lot in my career. I've gone from running teleprompter in the morning to directing newscasts last August. I won 2 Emmy Awards for directing. One was for breaking news and the other was for our Kentucky Derby coverage. Personally, I measured it by audience reception. Many people tuned in. TV news is kind of it's beholden to the public. If people don't watch, then things have to change, and my shows changed the least. Also, as I mentioned last August, I won 2 Emmy Awards, which still beyond ecstatic. It's the highest recognition that you can receive in local news. It was on a regional level, but it's the same big statute. But my real measure is seeing a difference with our viewers when my shows would go out on the road for a live on location, hearing people compliment our weather department, or hearing them talk about our news department, saying that, you know, we were informative, we saved lives. To me, that was where the true success came in. Beginning, I really didn't have the resources. You know, I came out of college with a basic understanding of TV news, and I was lucky enough to sign on to a shop that was willing to take me in, train me, and teach me. And the plus and the minus of this business is that technology is always changing. Just recently, one of our technologies is getting a software upgrade to go to Facebook Live, whereas 6 months ago, most people didn't do Facebook Live. Now it's become the new norm. So we do have the technology out there. It's just working to acquire it all and make sure it works with what we have. The budgeting on this level is usually handled with more management in the management realm, where I'm just now jumping into that. And as with news on the road, you have to understand what you need to make it successful, and you plan a year in advance. So if you need a new desk, you have to set aside the money to get a new desk a year before you need it. But you know, in my limited role is, you know, if you I always kind of heard the phrase, no, we can't buy something new, you have to make what you have work. Really, with the things that I've been involved with, it's how much we have to rely on each other. One person can't take over everything. In order to make a successful show, a successful project, video, documentary, or anything like that, it takes a group of people. It takes a lot of teamwork, a lot of communication, and where a lot of things fail is when people don't communicate. And getting someone who can lead and guide a project and keep everyone together and keep everyone communicating and knowing what the strengths and weaknesses of all the members are, that's really a key to everything. Actually, it kind of plays off the having a team. I've made mistakes of thinking I can do it all, or relying on someone to do it all, when really we need to all do it together. And things have fallen apart because of that. I've taken on too much, or I've burdened others, and that can cause problems. Actually, there have been a couple. One is my former boss, Chris Kyle. He provided me the tools to get the job that I have now. He's been a constant source of information and a resource that I can rely on. Same way with a couple of former bosses, so to speak, who saw potential in me, and when I was asking, can I learn, they never said no. They said, okay, let's find a time, and that gave me the push to actually want to be better and do better, and hopefully I am better. Knowing what I know now, I would definitely learn more of the online aspect of life, knowing more about social media. I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have all of those platforms, but knowing the ins and outs and all of the tricks, that would have helped me years ago. Instead of just making it a posting forum to talk about my family, I could learn more about that to help my career. And shadowing other departments. Whereas I was in the production department and I only did studio crew, it would have been nice to kind of shadow and hang out with the photographers, the editors, and learn more about their role, because I need it now. And I've learned since taking this position, but just opening myself up to learning all aspects of a job, including other departments, instead of just my own department. Planning. The key to any project is knowing where to start, and usually planning for every contingency. Find out what resources you need, find out who you will need for the project, and starting early. I have never found success in starting something late. Whenever I was given an assignment at work, go edit a video, go start working on a show, helping create graphics, I found more success by starting on it early, and that way, if there's changes that need to be made, reviews can happen, And by the time that the project is due or we're going to go on air, there's no issues because it's been discussed. Take an inventory of what you have. Take an inventory of people that you know, equipment that you do have, skills that you have, and use those to your advantage. If you know someone who takes really nice pictures, use them, to run your cameras. If you know someone who has a great voice and a great personality, use them as your talent. Knowing and adapting what you have around you, that way you don't have to go out and buy new equipment, buy new things, or speaking of equipment, if you know someone that has a nice camera, or you have someone who has a great set of lights that, maybe it's a desk light that's awesome, you can pull those in, and it helps in the production without having to go, oh, well, I got to go buy lights, I got to go buy a camera, I got to hire talent. Use what you have around you. Weather. Weather is always an unknown. Always have a backup plan. If you know that you're going out to shoot a video and you have a camera, have a backup camera. If you have someone who is going to be your talent, have someone in mind for a backup talent. Also, if you're going to shoot anything, shoot early, because something could happen to person, talent, location, equipment that causes an effect that you may have to put the project on a delay. And the earlier that you get started, you can kind of compensate for the delay by, pushing your shoot forward a couple of days or backward a couple of days, just depending on, scheduling. Be quick on your feet. That has helped me more times than any. And it goes back to the planning. Think about the things that could go wrong. If you're shooting outside, think about your lighting. Think about weather. Think about, hey, I have this location with this beautiful tree. Well, what happens if the wind knocks the tree down 2 days before you shoot? Or lightning strikes it, or somebody runs into it with a car. Plan ahead. Know what you're getting into, so that when you get there, you have an alternate plan, and definitely have a backup plan for everything. Crowdfunding is a big factor nowadays. Through GoFundMe is a good project. Also, ask your family, your friends, and local groups. If you're shooting something at location, you can always ask for donations to put products in. Say you're needing a location for a restaurant, you can always talk to, you would have to talk with the corporate arm of like McDonald's, but you could ask them, hey, we'll feature you in my project, if I can use your location, or a little bit of donation. Churches are also a great source for funds, and off the top of my head, I can't think of there are, for lack of a better term, charities that will help, like, up and coming filmmakers, media personalities, writers, and they will definitely put forth effort to help out aspiring talent.